Another week, another adventure. So unlike last week, it was freezing cold. It was 45 degrees out and we must have had about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. This week, completely different story. 63 degrees outside, no winds. Man, can't ask for better weather, so I'm gonna make the most of it. Rather than go out and just catch some bass, I'm gonna make this trip a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna use just about every piece of gear that I've got in my tackle box and see how many lures that I can go through. My goal is probably 10 of them. I want y'all to see something. In fall up here in New York, it's just beautiful. Look at the color of these trees. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, I'm gonna challenge myself to get through at least 10 of these lures. I'm going to be using crankbaits. These are the Strike King XD series. It's a 10, that's an 8, that's a 6. I've got some ultralight cranks that are from Rapala. I've got rattle traps, some underspins. I'll be utilizing jig heads and possibly some Carolina rigs, Texas rig, maybe even, drop shotting. I also will be trying to use paddle tails, chatterbait with a paddle tail. I've got another assortment of small crankbaits. Some small ultralight plastics, trick worms, magnum flukes. I've got some regular size flukes in here as well that I'll be using. And over here, more zooms and other assortments of pre-rigged soft plastics. So hopefully I'll get through 10 of those bad boys. Let's see how I do. I just launched. The challenge officially begins. So rules for this bad boy. Kind of there are no rules. Any fish counts. As soon as I catch a fish, which I land and then unhook and release, I will move on to the next lure. First lure, the Roadrunner with the Bass Assassin Curly Tail Shad. I am officially starting at 11 o'clock. All right, baby. First cast, come on. Man, it is hot. It's about 73 now. That temperature has rose significantly since I woke up this morning. There's still a little bit of weeds out here. They haven't all completely died off, but with the colder weather setting in as it has been, they are definitely dying off. I guess what sucks with starting out on this small lure is that the fish have moved away from the bank. I guess in order to try to catch one, I'm gonna have to fish deep whether I like it or not with this small little guy, which means I'm gonna have to jig it out. Aha! A little crappie. Well, eat your words, baby. Let's get this crappie off and in the water, and we'll move on to the second lure. Okay, moving on to lure number 2. That's going to be a weightless fluke on an offset warm shank hook, a number 2 size. I plan on fishing this through the weeds. The weeds are all matted up, and any holes that I find in them, I'm just going to drop this down there and hope that I can hook into one. I got my fluke right there in the pocket. I know there's got to be a fish inside there somewhere. There it is. Oh goodness, it's a pickerel. Look at that. I knew there was something in there. Sure enough, this guy made a mad dash for my fluke, and check this out. Look at that, all the way inside there. All right, let's put them back. Not bad. Lure number 3 is going to be an ultralight crankbait. That's a Rapala shad color. I'm gonna have to get closer to the bank to fish this bad boy because it cannot dive as deep as its big brother. Let's hurry up and get to the bank. I'm going to fish this ultralight crankbait right up against these rocks. That's a sure bet to get something really quick. Come on. Come on, I felt the rocks. There's rocks. Rocks. Come on. There's got to be a fish over here. There we go. Got him. Got him, got him, got him. Little bitty largemouth on a little bitty lure. Come here, little fella. Let's get you off. Get you back in the water quickly. Little guy, put me back in the water. There he is. There he goes. I don't care that it was small, but it counts. Let's see what else I've got on already tied so I don't have to cut and retie. Wow. Somebody did a number on this guy. Literally busted his jaw up. Healthy bass. But look at that. Somebody split his jaw. Let's get him back in the water. I didn't want to weigh him for fear of messing up his jaw even further. Alright, so lure number 4, check. Magnum Super Fluke and a underspin. Let's get another lure on. First cast. It's lure number 5. First cast on a Strike King. Strike King 6XD. 2.5 pound bass. Let's get him back in the water. There it goes. To live another day. Time to switch to another lure. Alright, so the 6th lure that I'm going to be using today is a Storm. It's a 4.5 inch paddle tail in a baby bass pattern. Just gonna bounce it off the bottom anywhere from 25 to 18 feet of water. Hopefully we'll get another one. I got him. on the paddle tail, lure number 6. Oh, he's not even hooked. Look at this, fellas. Lure number 6. This guy's got a busted up jaw as well. Look at that. His mouth is, actually it's not his jaw, his mouth is really jacked. That 4.5 inch baby bass storm paddle tail. These things are just money. Barely even hooked. Thank God that hook was sharp. Stuck him. See how much he weighs. Oh God, I don't want to do that to him. Okay, buddy. This probably hurts. Let's go ahead and skip the weighing of the fish. Seems like it hurts the fish. So that's a healthy bass though. Again, probably another 2.5 pounder. Let's get him back in the water. Let's go to lure number 7. All right. I took the 6XD off, and now I'm going to fish the 10XD. That's the whopper. Good Lord. Just take a look at how much bigger the 10XD is compared to the 6XD. That's insane on how big this is. Now, I'm going to have trouble, being that I'm fishing out of a kayak, bringing this bad boy in. It's going to create so much drag that the tip or the bow of my kayak is going to want to face towards the lure, and I'm actually going to be dragging or pulling myself to the lure as I'm reeling it in. Lure number 7. Let's give it a shot. I think I got him. Little bitty guy off of the 10XD. Look at that. Not so bad. It's 5 o'clock now. I started at 11 and now it's 5. Yeah, that's a full day's fishing for me. I fished with 7 lures, caught 7 fish, tried to do 10, running out of daylight, and I am exhausted after casting this 10XD. Made things interesting for the day's fishing, challenging myself to try 10 separate lures. Got to 7, and that's all she wrote. Had a blast. Till next time, tight lines.